The Hitopadesh of Sri Narayan Pandit. Prologue. By the grace of Lord Shiva, whose head is adorned with a crescent moon appearing like a streak of foam on the Ganges, may virtuous students attain their ideals. After studying Hitopadesh, one will be expert in using Sanskrit idioms, his speech will always be wonderful, and he will be learned in Niti Vidya, the conduct of human affairs. An intelligent person should strive for education and wealth as though free from old age and death, but he should perform religious acts as if death has caught him by the hair. The best wealth is knowledge. It cannot be stolen, it is priceless and imperishable. As a river carries a blade of grass down to the great ocean, so knowledge, though possessed by a common man, can carry one to a king who is generally unapproachable and whose audience brings good fortune. Learning makes one humble, and that makes one qualified. Being qualified, one attains wealth to perform religious acts such as charity and sacrifice, which lead to happiness. Among all types of knowledge, martial arts, Shastra Vidya, and scriptural knowledge, Shastra Vidya, are famous for conferring honor. Of these two, the former causes ridicule in old age, but the latter is ever respected. As designs carved on a clay pot can never be changed after firing, so impressions created in the minds of young students remain for life. On the pretext of storytelling, therefore, I will teach the young Niti. This book includes stories from Panchatantra and other such books. There are 4 sections entitled Mitralabha, Suridbheda, Vigraha and Sandhi. Introduction. On the bank of the Ganges, in the city Pataliputra, presently known as Patna, lived Sudarshana, a king endowed with all royal qualities. Once the king heard 2 verses. Shastra is the illuminating eye for everyone, as it removes various doubts and reveals what lies beyond our vision. One who lacks knowledge of Shastra, therefore, is surely blind. Youth, wealth, power, and lack of discrimination are individually sufficient in themselves to cause misery, and especially disasters if combined together. Hearing the above 2 verses, the king was concerned about his sons, who were uneducated, always misbehaved, and ignored Shastra. Thus he thought to himself, "What is the use of a son who is neither scholarly nor religious? He is like a painful, useless, blind eye." Unborn or dead sons are preferable to foolish ones, for the first do give misery once, but the fool at every step. Moreover, better a miscarriage or no union at all. Better the child is stillborn, or better a girl is born. Better the wife is barren, or the child remains in the womb. All these are preferable to a beautiful, wealthy son who is a fool. One's birth is successful if he brings honor to his dynasty. Otherwise one is born and dies uselessly in this changing world. When the pious are counted, and history doesn't respectfully record the son's name first, yet she who has borne him is called mother, then who is considered barren? Further, one who is not enthusiastic to offer charity, perform austerities, engage in valorous deeds, or acquire knowledge or wealth, is indeed the excrement of his mother. Moreover, it is better to have 1 learned son than hundreds of foolish ones. 1 moon is able to dispel the darkness, not millions of stars. One who has performed severe austerities in a holy place will conceive a son who is obedient, wealthy, religious, and intelligent. O king, in the material world, pleasure comes from 6 things: wealth, good health, a beautiful wife, a wife who speaks sweetly, an obedient son, and knowledge. A house full of many useless sons is like a pot filled with husk. Better to have 1 intelligent son who can support the family and bring his father fame. These are natural enemies: a father in debt, an unchaste mother, a beautiful wife, and an illiterate son. A man endowed with good qualities is respected regardless of his high or low birth. Indeed, even if made of the finest bamboo, what good is a bow without a string? Alas, my son, all these nights you have not studied. Thus in an assembly of scholars, just as the cow sings in marshy land, you will have to lower your head in shame. Then how can my sons become glorious? Because eating, sleeping, fearing and mating are common among animals and humans, but religion is unique among humans. Without it, they are no better than animals. If one doesn't attain any of the goals of religion, economic development, regulated sense gratification, and liberation, one's life is useless, like the milkless nipples hanging from a goat's neck. While still in the womb, these 5 are decided: longevity, occupation, amount of wealth, degree of education, and cause of death. Lord Shiva is naked for want of clothes, and Lord Hari sleeps on a snake for want of a bed. Whatever is destined will occur, even to great persons. Drink this antidote to mitigate the poison of life's anxieties. That which is not destined to be will never be, and that which is predestined cannot be otherwise. These are the words of the lazy who are incapable of working. As a chariot cannot move on one wheel, so faith cannot yield results without endeavor. Activities performed in past lives are called faith. Throw off laziness, therefore, and endeavor with enthusiasm even now. As one cannot get oil from sesame seeds without pressing them, even if fate is favorable, one should not give up hard work. Wealth approaches an industrious line among men. Lazy men say that there is no need to work hard. Fate supplies everything. Dismissing such lazy ideas, one should endeavor according to one's capacity. And if one is unsuccessful, what is the loss? Or one should determine what went wrong. Just as a potter can make anything he desires from a lump of clay, one can create good or bad results according to his activities. Even if by coincidence one finds some treasure before him, fate will not place it in his pocket. Some effort is required to pick it up. Only by hard work can one attain success, not simply by wishful thinking. Animals do not enter the mouth of a sleeping lion. Those parents who do not educate their son are enemies. As a crane is not respected among swans, so in an assembly of learned persons, an uneducated son is not respected. Although handsome, young and born in a famous family, like a king shuka flower which looks beautiful but has no fragrance, an uneducated man is useless. Just as an illegitimate child is not respected, a man who has not studied under a teacher nor from books is not respected. Thinking in this way, the king assembled some learned scholars and said, "O learned men, please listen. Can any of you give second birth to my ill-behaved and illiterate sons by educating them in Niti Shastra? Because as a piece of glass appears like a jewel when held near gold, so a fool gains proficiency through learned association. One's intelligence is degraded by associating with low-class people, remains the same by associating with equals, and is improved by associating with superiors." Hearing the king's speech, a great scholar named Vishnu Sharma, who was well versed in Niti Shastra, spoke like Brihaspati. "O king, these princes, descendants of an exalted race, can learn Niti Shastra from me, because just as by hundreds of attempts one cannot teach a crane to speak like a parrot. Furthermore, as a glass is not produced in the mine of Padmaraga, Topaz, useless and unfit sons do not take birth in this royal dynasty. Within 6 months, therefore, I will make your sons proficient in Niti Shastra." The king again spoke humbly. "A worm in a flower can reach the heads of saints, and a stone can become divine if installed by devotees. As a lusterless stone of Udayagiri shines in the rays of the rising sun, so a low-born person becomes brilliant in saintly association. As sweet river water becomes unpalatable upon reaching the sea, good qualities possessed by the virtuous are beneficial, yet when possessed by the impious, they become defects. Therefore, you are qualified to instruct my sons in Niti Shastra." Saying this with great respect, the king placed his sons in the hands of Vishnu Sharma. Thus ends the introduction.